kind of monster they were fighting. Ray charges, grabs them both by the face, and slams them into the ground. Aura farmed. The kids in the background are trembling, and Ray orders them to come at him, and they obey. I honestly thought they'd back off, but no, everyone advanced. Now the boy is finally starting to snap, going wild, finger on the ring, beating them all down. The people watching think it's insane. How was he fighting against so many alone? One of the gang members, now fully healed, shouts that Ray is incredible. Another quickly warns him not to say that. Their leader is Kendrick. But the first one shoots back. Kendrick was beaten to a pulp by this kid. Another voice rises, yelling that everyone needs to face reality. They were all sick of Kendrick doing whatever he wanted. Everyone had been beaten by him before, and seeing him crushed by the hunter was actually the best thing that could have happened. In the middle of this, the bald leader of the rival gang yells for everyone to split up, storm the hotel, and beat everyone inside. That shocks the protagonist. He knows he can't hold them all off, and in an instant, the kids are already bolting in panic. But then Ray pulls on red mana and shouts, ordering everyone to stop. The kids who used to obey Kendrick realize maybe those orders were meant for them, so they jump in. The ones trying to storm the hotel don't understand why this is happening, but now they're the ones getting slapped around. What follows looks more like a daycare brawl where nobody's actually getting hurt, while Philip and the rest of the useless bunch upstairs just watch. I don't even know how many kids are in this place, but suddenly some of them drag out a giant sugarcane stalk like they're staging some kind of medieval invasion. What's going on here? Inside, the kids are panicking, shouting that lunatics are charging, and one swings down a hammer. Or not, Ray catches it mid-swing, declaring that today nobody is invading this hotel. Everyone is confused. 1 second the boy is standing still, and the next he vanishes, blocks the attack head-on, and is suddenly holding off multiple attackers at once. Then bracing with both hands, he throws them aside in a move like some ogre strike, and the kids go flying. Philip wonders how this is even possible, while Ray just stands there farming aura, glaring until everyone scatters. It was time to win by sheer intimidation, because his energy was running out. That's when the crowd bursts into cheers. Hunter, you're amazing. My God, you're incredible. Ray looks into their hearts, wondering what emotion this was. He had no clue. Then, exhausted, he collapses, murmuring that it wasn't so bad after all. Next chapter. Suddenly, he's in a manga. Everything is black and white now. He's wandering, not understanding what place this is. He starts climbing a mountain of trash, and at the top he finds a strange source of light. A bright white glow in a black and white world, oddly giving him a feeling of certainty. The certainty that this light was originally white, then cracks spread across it, and from within bursts a rainbow of colors. In the blink of an eye, he's standing in a field of countless colors, asking himself what this was. And right then, he wakes up in bed, not understanding where he is. He notices it's probably Philip's hotel and wonders what a strange dream that was. Two people open the door, asking if he's okay and already wanting to know if he wants something to eat. Ray is still confused. He doesn't even know what day it is. Turns out it's 6 in the evening the next day. Meaning the boy had slept for 24 hours straight. Strangely enough, he gets up immediately, saying he's heading out. On the second floor, he sees everyone talking excitedly about rebuilding. He's certain Philip took care of assigning work to everyone. It even looks like Kendrick's gang was going to stay at the hotel. One of the boys from that gang steps forward, flexes his bicep, and says Ray can count on him if he needs help. He'll carry all those boxes wherever they need. Ray notices, though, that the boy's heart is heavy with guilt. As he heads down the stairs, everyone's cheering his name, shouting that Hunter is awake, clearly impressed. But then suddenly, a shout cuts through the noise. Someone orders him to freeze. It's Kendrick, running at him with a weapon in hand. Okay, I got carried away. It's just a scalpel. Ray tells him to stop, reminding him they'd already settled this. But Kendrick lunges anyway, aiming the blade at Ray's massive eye. Just before it connects, he freezes, trembling all over, muttering that he's going to kill the bastard. Ray asks him what his problem is. Then, grabbing Kendrick by the arm, he presses the blade to his own neck, saying, "Cut here." Ray's putting on a badass act because he can see Kendrick has no red mana at all. In other words, he doesn't actually have the intent or conviction to kill. Then Kendrick suddenly tries to turn the scalpel on himself, forcing Ray to activate his magic and stop the idiot from hurting himself. As if it weren't enough not to kill him, now he has to save the guy from himself. Dear God. In the next scene, Philip is apologizing, saying there shouldn't have been a blade inside the hotel, for God's sake. The protagonist says it's fine, nobody got hurt, while Kendrick stands there with his head down. Philip immediately wants to know if the fool really wants to die, but Kendrick says he's being serious. Now that he's lost the duel, everyone will believe he's weak. Everyone will laugh at him and humiliate him again. Wait, I don't get it. You really are weak, kid. You got beaten down, of course you're supposed to be humiliated, just like everybody else. Philip disagrees, but then he slams the table and asks how much he even knows. They don't know each other at all. That's when Ray notices once again that the kid's heart was glowing red. Just like always, his mana was being drained in an abnormal way. He remembers Veronica explaining about items that trigger mana like that, and how they can cause a kind of mana addiction or intoxication. Kendrick wants to know why he was saved. This time, things really were over. He says it would have been better if he had burned to death. Yeah, I agree with you, kid. But Philip says he saved him because they're friends. My God, no. I'm not your friend. I want to kill you. How can you call me a friend? I'm a bad person. No, Kendrick, we've been through a lot. I know life's been hard for us. We're going to be friends again. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Come on, take my hand. Then he pulls him in for a hug. Kendrick cries again while the protagonist just stares. He keeps talking, apologizing. I trained, but that guy caught me on the street, beat me down, so I started using the ring for God's sake. Then another pitted guy showed up, found me beaten again. He gave me a hard look, made an ugly face, and handed me his ring too. Then I started lifting myself up, saw that I was way too strong. I was insanely happy. The guy told me that all I had to do is gather 66 losers. They'd deliver me to the elite group, and I become the best of the best. The protagonist reaches into his pocket, pulls something out, and says, "This ring here, is this what you want, you idiot?" He answers, "Damn, that's the one." And the protagonist shows just how clueless he is. He had actually been forced into using mana, something that exists in this world, but since he's not the protagonist, he has no idea how to actually use it. Crap, I'm worthless. That's what he keeps thinking with his hand on his face, crying while the protagonist tells him to calm down. He shows him the ring he liked to slip on his finger and says that if he follows the plan he has, he'll benefit way more. The fool thanks him and leaves the room, while Philip wants to know why he's even helping that idiot. The protagonist says he wants to settle everything here in 49 before moving on to the next places. Philip thanks him once again for taking care of his friend and says he really learned a lot from the boy. Ray says suppressing people through force is never a bad idea, and I agree, but it's not always the best option either. In this case, he just wants to leave things tidy in this sector in case he needs help in the future. Philip says that's fine, but the boy deserves to take the rewards. Then he tells everyone in the hotel that from now on this would be their hideout and Kendrick the idiot would be their lieutenant. Everyone knows he got beaten down so many times and now he's been tamed. And the protagonist, as if forgiving everyone wasn't enough, also decides to return all the money to everyone. Now everyone's wondering if he's even a hunter at all or an angel. Fine, whatever. I don't care that the protagonist gave the money back, he's here to learn magic. I just want him to leave this place already. With these kids nobody cares about. He goes over to the fat one and the skinny one, calls the two idiots, and warns them they'd better be careful with Veronica's shot. Right away, crack, first whip across the mouth. The guy tries to offer money, something like that, but gets hit again. When the skinny one sees the fat one taking a beating, just from having the gag pulled out of his mouth, the kid is already trembling all over. That's when he reveals they had received a request because apparently someone wanted to buy that area. He asks who it was, and the skinny one says it was some guy from 3rd Street who runs a shop called Fred. The protagonist says okay, then slams his head into the wall 3 or 4 more times, softening up his nose nicely. Meanwhile, everyone is standing there looking kind of confused. Man, the kid showed no mercy. Honestly, I wanted him to pull out a wind blade and slice both of their throats. I really did. He warns the two that if they try anything else, they'll be hunted down in this sector until they disappear. The boys are shaking all over, and with that, they're dragged away by the other fools. But it's nighttime now, time for the banquet. Everyone's going to eat. The protagonist is outside, all sad and quiet, remembering what Philip said, that he was a friend. Thinking about this whole thing of someone you do anything for without needing anything back, those kids under the bridge are the only ones he's actually cared about. Maybe Miles too could have been a friend, but he doesn't know if you can call someone 20 years older than your friend. He wonders if he'll ever be able to find someone like that again. After all, it's completely different, since most people around him either fear him or want to beat him. That's when Philip comes in, saying he brought some sweet tea for our boy, since he likes sweet things. Ray figures it's because he ate a bunch of chocolates, and when he tastes it, it really is warm and good. In that moment, he forgot about the emptiness in his heart. Finally, he waves goodbye to that damn Philip and heads toward the bookstore to learn magic with the old man, who's way cooler. Veronica greets him good morning and says she was worried. He hadn't shown up for several days. She and her grandfather had been waiting a long time. Her expression changes the second she sees our boy all bruised up. She wants to know if he's been fighting, but he says it's nothing serious. Still, she starts crying, saying there's no way he's fine when he's that beat up. Ray can only think that her mana circle was beautiful, like a gentle little sun. And he notices that before, he couldn't really see that feeling clearly. Maybe he's even improving his ability to see mana. Veronica is making a little mana ball to heal him, but he snatches it away and tells her it's fine, he already healed himself and she doesn't need to poison herself with mana because of him. She's a bit surprised that he knew, but he says it's fine. He just wants to go talk to her grandfather. As he climbs the stairs, he suddenly turns and asks out of nowhere if she considers him a friend. Poor girl is left kind of confused. Friend? Out of nowhere. What are you even talking about? Ray realizes maybe everyone has their own criteria for what counts as a friend. She's focusing hard, thinking that he's a savior who's already helped her twice. Besides that, she does feel a certain sense of affinity, though they haven't known each other for very long. The protagonist is standing there, waiting for her answer, and then she smiles and says yes, he was a friend. But he doesn't say anything, just walks upstairs saying he's going to see her grandfather. She calls after him, telling him to wait, and he asks what for. Obviously, she asks if he considers her a friend too. Of course, he shoots back a no.